This morning I woke up early because I'm going to go paragliding, and so obviously, have to get my day rolling to get there on time. Now, I even, while I was walking to shul, I did brachas on the way, pashut, so I'll have extra time to get ready. Anyway, I come into the actual shul. I did Tanya, Hayom Yom. I also do every single day. If you ever go on Chabad.org, they have a very nice little tidbit about what happened today in Jewish history. If you just open up the calendar, I read that as well. Anyway, I'm about to put on my tefillin, and I kind of had to use the bathroom a little bit, not much. I was thinking, I'll go before, I'll go after. Like, the halacha is that with the bathroom, the time which you have to go to the bathroom and you're not allowed to do things, you're not allowed to learn Torah, you're not allowed to daven, you're not allowed to have your tefillin on, you're not, So there's two opinions. First opinion is if you're able to hold yourself in for 72 minutes, which means you don't need to, you'll be fine for the next hour and 12 minutes. Then you don't have to stop your learning or davening to go to the bathroom. The second opinion is that there's a certain power which we have, to restrain ourselves. So sometimes, we just kind of feel a little bit like we have to use the bathroom. Other times we're mamish holding ourselves in. So if you're holding yourself in, so then you have to stop once you've reached that threshold. It certainly wasn't that. It was just, just a little bit. Sorry to bring up my bathroom story, but it's negea, it's relevant. Anyway, so I go down the stairs, to go to the bathroom. But should I pass by the mikveh? In my rush, I forgot I haven't gone to mikveh this morning. And mikveh is something very dear and important to me. The Baal Shem Tov writes about mikveh, that, mikveh is not a mitzvah, but will raise you higher than any mitzvah. And the flip side of that is, depression is not an avera, but it will drag you lower than any avera. So anyway, so Pashat, I walked past it, reminded me, I have to go to mikveh. So, this is Pashat, and I saw the hand of the Eibishter a little bit, I totally could have skipped the bathroom, and, just something right before I put on my tefillin, which is the last step. Once you put on your tefillin, I'm not sure you're allowed to take it off to go to mikveh. But the last step before, my last chance, it's also, aside from that, regardless, one of the most important reasons to put on tefillin, one of the most important reasons to go to mikveh is the hachana to tefillin specifically. Hachana to davening in general, and specifically to tefillin. The reason being because of the Gezer of Rabbeinu Ezra, which says that if a man is a Baal Keri, he shouldn't do any davar shel mikdusha, like putting on tefillin, without going to mikveh first. And Chassidim were makbid to always just go to mikveh just every single morning, and regardless. Anyway, so I walked past mikveh and I reminded, mikveh. So anyway, so it got me thinking. It says when we want to do something right, Hashem helps us with it. And so the question is why every single time we want to do something right? And I think it's specifically when we find a mitzvah that's dear to us. I know mikveh is very dear to me. I try to make it a point to go every single day. I usually end up 3 to 4 times a week. And when we hold a mitzvah dear to us, that's when Hashem gives us an extra little push, little hints along the way. It's just, make it a point to guide us along. And then, and so I wanted to say a thank you to Hashem. So I was thinking, how should I say thank you to Hashem? Be more makbid on mikveh, do more dunks inside, think about it, learn about it. What's the hidah to Hashem? Now, traditionally, the way we said thank you to Hashem was brachas. We daven to the Eibishter. That's partial. You daven to the Eibishter, they said thank you to Hashem. But we don't live traditionally anymore. I'm not sure you noticed. It's an ever-changing and evolving world. And I believe, truly, that the way we say thank you to Hashem is we share our appreciation to Hashem with others. We share our stories. We share what happened to us individually, to the world. And that's our mission today. And I think that's specifically why we have the technology of today. I mean, you're sitting here watching this on your smartphone. Why do we have a smartphone? Why do we have an internet? Why is there a YouTube? Why are we able to share videos? This is why. Because our mission has been updated, It's al derech zeh, you know. When they used to fight wars, they used to fight them with, they used to take a little wooden shaft which they found, tie a stone to the end of the shaft, and they used to charge each other with spears, Upgrade a little bit, now we have iron. They were able to make some crude iron swords. Upgraded more, steel. They were able to make steel armor. They were able to make steel shields. They were able to make, much stronger, lighter swords with steel. Upgraded furthermore, we ended up with the musket era, So as warfare progressed, so did the tools which we require to wage those wars progressed. To a point right now where mamish, really, if you want to wage a war, you have to be backed by nuclear armaments. It's crazy, We need nuclear bombs to fight wars, And so too, very much is it with our Torah and our mitzvahs. Just as in the same way, I think the best example of this is how Kabbalah got released to the world. That Kabbalah got released to the world. Kabbalah is the most potent form of Torah we have. It's Hashem's Torah, if you will. Meaning, you have the Torah, which is halachas, which Hashem gives down to us, right? This is halacha. This is your user manual for how to live your life. Then we have Kabbalah and Chassidus, which it's not our Torah. It's what Hashem spends his time learning. Mind blowing. Just a quick point on Kabbalah, which my grandfather, Zechreinu L'Vracha, he asked, where did the Kabbalah come from? Where did it start from? My grandfather says, I don't think he said it's recorded anywhere, but this is what he feels. He said, it says when Hashem started speaking to Bnei Yisrael by Har Sinai, Hashem, so basically it says all our neshamis got scared and we all ran away, 2 miles or whatever it was, far, far away. Malachim had to come, bring our neshamis back because the neshamis were too terrified. My grandfather says there was a group of people which said, I don't care what's happening. I don't care what, I'm staying right here. So right here by the foot of the mountain. And they didn't run. They didn't run like the rest of them. And those were the people that were zeichet to be granted Kabbalah. They were the ones who actually, Kabbalah was taught to. And of course passed down and brought down further and further and further. But anyway, I digress. Much of the same way we have on the Torah front, we have that, Hashem has given us greater tools. Obviously with the advent of Kabbalah, and then furthermore with Baal Shem Tov, and then furthermore with the Alter Rebbe, and then finally with the Rebbe. Which, side note, the Rebbe, one of the Rebbe's magnus opums, great works, was Hayom Yom. What's Hayom Yom? Tidbits, Pashat, 3-4 lines. The Rebbe was Pashat a century and a half ahead of his time. Pashat, the Rebbe Pashat understood who we are. Rebbe, as they say, he knew his clients. When I invite people to events sometimes, so I used to write a Lange Megillah, why I'm making this event. I try to find unique things to make events for. And Pashat, everybody said the same thing. I heard you're making an event, I don't know about what, because it was too long for me to bother reading. Which is exactly where we're holding today. Too long for me to bother reading. But you have to condense it. We live in a Twitter age. 255 characters or less. So the Rebbe said, okay, fine, no problem. Here's Hayom Yom. Mamish, tiniest tidbits. But of course, more often than not, the more condensed it is, the more potent it is. It says about the the brother of the Rebbe, one time, somebody was reading Hayom Yom or whatever, it was just released. And somebody, I'm not gonna butcher the story precisely, but the guy was saying, he was kind of, what's this Hayom Yom? Denigrating it to a certain extent of we're studying, we're busy studying deep Maimarim, and you're giving me these, little snacks to, a little story here, a little minute there. The Rebbe's brother told him, Pasha has no idea the depth of Hayom Yom. You have no clue whatsoever what Hayom Yom actually is. And it's just, and that's why, by the way, they released a version of the Hayom Yom, which was just supposed to be like the Torah of the Hayom Yom. So they took out the different maskils, like the beginning, Chumash is this, and Rashi is Chumash is this, and Tanya is this, and Tehillim is this. And the Rebbe was very upset. The Rebbe says, you're taking away the strings. I'm paraphrasing, he didn't say that precisely, but the Rebbe was upset that they took that out. The Rebbe said, no, this is part of the Hayom Yom. You understand, all this is a tapestry. It's a beautiful woven tapestry, which of course you have to, sometimes, if you stand too close to a painting, you're just going to see random colors. You have to, step back to take a look, and that's what Hayom Yom is. You really, you also have to have the appreciation for what you're looking at. But if you're colorblind, paintings aren't going to do it for you. So, you have to learn what it means, Anyway, I digress. That's enough about Hayom Yom. Point being, the way we say thank you to the Eibishter, we have to make it a point to spread our joy and our appreciation to the world. It's an incredible opportunity. It's very unfortunate that we're very disconnected from the Lashon HaKodesh, which we once spoke about. And not just in the actual words, the translations, It's more, it's an emotional thing, We make a bracha, bracha, That's the way we said thank you to Hashem, we made a bracha. But I think it not just changed physically, it changed like a side note about bracha. Rebbe Shmuel Livitin, Pasha used to make a bracha, Baruch Ata. And he went on for every bracha he made. Mamash Azai. Why? Pasha focused on it. Mamash connected to it, Chassidim from a different eon, Pasha, it was a real thank you, Just think about it. Like, if your friend, Pasha, just bailed you out of jail, right? Would you go, thank you so much, my friend, I really appreciate it. You were starving, hungry in a desert, and your friend came and gave you water. Thank you so much for the water. Pasha, look him in the eyes, saying, you don't understand how much I appreciate it. You don't, you have to make it a point to show that it actually matters to you. You actually care. So, and of course, when you say thank you, you have to use the language by which the person understands. If I say thank you in French and the person only speaks Chinese, there's no thank you happening. So we have to speak the language which Hashem appreciates. And the language which Hashem appreciates is us teaching each other Torah. Us sharing the light and the enjoyment of what it means Yiddishkeit to one another. And that's how we say thank you to Hashem. And we have to make it a point to focus on that. And that's why we have these tools, and that's why our emotions are there as well. I don't know about you, but I feel supercharged when I'm here doing this. And when I'm speaking to others, when I'm sharing the light, spreading the light. And to leave you with a vart from the Rebbe. Everybody has to teach one another. In today's day and age, no matter what. What does that mean? If you know Aleph, you teach Aleph. If you know Beis, you teach Aleph Beis. The building blocks. Simple. But that's our mission in this world today. So, here's my 2 cents for the day. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful day.